Steve Rogers did not have a girlfriend before he went into the service. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there, Bob.
This video is my review of the first 2 episodes of season 1 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Now, I'm gonna say that this show has some good moments, it has some cringe moments, it's not anything particularly special, and it's not horribly bad, but it is very annoying. I feel like the show is just forgettable, at least right now it is. Like I said, this is just the review for the first 2 episodes of season 1. So, for all you know, if I have any other videos after this, and they're of a different tone, it's because something else happened to make me change my mind. For the love of God, for those of you who are like, Emma, how can you leave a review if you haven't watched the whole show? I know it's shocking, but you can watch an episode of a show and leave your thoughts on the episode too. Gasp, I know. Anyway, episode 1 starts off with main character Jen rehearsing on how she is going to deliver her last speech. Her best friend is just brown-nosing up the umpteenth degree, and then we have cream-skinned character right here who happens to be a male, laying on a very thick slather of misogyny, because you know you always gotta have those. Like, we didn't waste any time, we went right into it. This is literally 1 minute and 32 seconds into this episode, and already, without me being told anything or what to feel about the character, they just instantly set up how unfair her world is. But to be fair, this is just the start, or rather the continuation of the story that already started. Her friend asks her, hey, if anything, you can just Hulk out, which insinuates that at this moment in time, she is the Hulk and her best friend already knows this.
Let me get you up to speed.
So she shows us that a few months ago, she went on a trip with her cousin Bruce Banner. Yes, the Hulk. They're talking about Captain America. She shows him that, you know, to keep your hands from getting dirty, you eat Cheetos, with chopsticks. And honestly, that's a very good idea, but I don't eat chips and Cheetos anymore. But if I ever do in the future, I'll think about that. Make sure I have some chopsticks handy, just in case I want to eat vending machine food. There is an accident, and Bruce has to be saved by her because he has an inhibitor on, and that's what keeps him in his human form. While he's in his human form, of course, he can get knocked out and he's susceptible to injuries. As she pries the door open to get her cousin out, he tries to warn her to stay away from his blood, but some of his blood gets inside of her and she hulks. When she goes to a bar, some women come in that look like, I mean, let's be honest, hookers.
Or her. Or them.
But you do need shoes, because this is a public bathroom. Right.
So they dress her in what is like the typical lady of the night outfit. Not saying anybody else can't wear these clothes, but that usually is... There's usually a type of clothing that is worn to places like this at certain times. In general, with the women out in the parking lot in the dark, just standing there, that is usually conducive to somebody getting their sausage cooked or boiled or slurped or whatever adverb you want to use, not adverb, description, whatever. So these guys approach her.
What's up? How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
So she starts walking away, and she's like, I think my boyfriend's over there. And I don't know about you guys, but as a woman, I would walk back into the bar, not deeper into the freaking dark-ass parking lot where your ride obviously isn't. You know, why is she not standing by the door? Like, I don't know, that's just safety 101 that I figure every female's supposed to know. It's a sports bar. You're waiting on your ride. I understand that. There are glass windows all over the place. This is a place where people get drunk, and if they act unkindly, they are thrown out of the establishment. People that are outside can do whatever. I don't even care if it's another female, because I've been groped by females before too. I would not be standing out there by myself, or maybe I would. If I saw other people come out and they're acting that way, I would quickly take my ass and run back inside. I would lead them away and then run back inside.
Thank you.
You with anyone?
I'm waiting for my ride.
Yeah, okay. By the way, if they're ever in a situation like this, women or men, whatever, and someone asks you if you're with anyone, that means that they didn't see if you were with anyone at the bar, or they probably weren't even paying attention. Just say, yeah, my boyfriend's inside, we kind of had an argument, I'm just waiting out here for him. So at least they know at that moment that somebody is with you. I know, this is coming from an idiot who freezes and smiles politely while people are doing this because I'm an idiot. And I don't want to make a scene, even though that's the perfect time for you to make a scene. I can't do it for myself, but I am aware what needs to be done, so don't do this.
Oh, come on, where you going? Let us keep you
Hey,
company.
we're just being friendly.
Yeah, where you going? So what, you too good to talk to us?
course, as a defense mechanism or anger or whatever it is, she turns into the Hulk. And it's so cool that she enacted rage with that, because when that happens to me, if I'm cornered like with a lot of people, girls or guys, I don't know about you, but nervousness and fear is usually what I feel. But to be fair, that's one of the triggers as well. Bruce brings her back to his place, and he tries to prepare her for a life of a superhero. However, she doesn't want to be one. After all, she never asked for this. Question though, why does she low-key look like Michael Jackson? Like, I don't know, that's what she's giving me.
Ew, stop.
They can drink and not get drunk, and just have to worry about a buzz. I don't know about you, but the CGI kind of looks weird. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it was just the time that I watched them, but I watched the previous Marvel movies, and the CGI seems to hold up a lot better. But the latest Marvel movies all kind of look like, you know, someone just placed them there without finishing them properly. Maybe it's just me. Bruce continues to teach her how to control her anger. He says, look, it's a life and death thing. Like, you cannot let yourself get emotional. And this was just a setup for her giving him the lecture that apparently the story writers want to give everyone.
When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally get murdered.
I'm sorry, what? And lady, you need a fucking therapist. I've been catcalled too, and the only time I would ever feel anger is if the same person keeps doing it over and over again. If someone catcalls me, especially if we're out in public, I say no thank you with a smile and I keep walking away. I get that some people probably feel triggered by it or something, but usually, when you're catcalled, it means that you're pretty. At least that's what I thought. And maybe my brain is just wired differently because it's screwed up or something. I don't really see why that would elicit anger. If you really feel that strongly about being catcalled, there's a very easy fix. Don't put on makeup, make yourself look rough, wear baggy clothes or you're going to work. I mean, there are really easy ways to fix being catcalled, because if you make yourself look unappealing, but you know, you're kind of, well, never mind. People won't catcall you. I've tried it. When I just don't feel like talking to anyone or being polite, I wear a large hoodie and obscure my face. And I slouch down and I walk like a boy and I wear sneakers so no one can tell what the hell I am. But if I'm decked out or if I'm wearing form-fitting clothes, obviously people are going to see your things and they're going to catcall you. Do people elicit this much anger when the person catcalling is also a female? Because I've been catcalled by females too. And dare I say it, my personal experience is that men will catcall and females will straight up come up and grope me. I don't know what it is, but on like 3 occasions, females will catcall me, lick their lips and grill me like a piece of meat, and come up and touch my areas. Like really forward, like we don't know each other and you're touching me. And me slapping their hands away when they get into my personal space just makes them double down like, I like them feisty. Like, what the hell? Not saying that men don't do that too, but I've gotten more of that brazenness of that touching and shit from females. And also, I don't know about you, but I don't know why she specifically specified men, as if women don't do that as well. There are many women especially, who can be very snarky with this, that will sit down and try to do the same thing. I have gotten into more problems with women doing that at my workplace than men, to the point where I have to freaking lecture them and be like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? Like that condescending tone, women do it too. It's not just men. Now, to be fair to her, she works in a place where she experiences mostly men, or her field is mostly men. If anger is how you're feeling with every single one of these interactions, then I would say that you would need to go to therapy. If that's the emotion that you are getting all the time from experiencing general human interaction. Other people experience that shit too, and it doesn't make them angry all the time. It might make them annoyed, or if they brush it off and they're like, you know what, whatever. You've got some internal stuff going on that you need to deal with.
I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Wow, that was just a very distasteful scene. Look, the show's not horrible, but good grief, they're making it very hard to like this character. I do it infinitely more than you. How do you know that? Don't men have more testosterone? Wouldn't that so also make it a little bit more difficult for them to control their anger because they have a natural hormone that kind of causes it, you know? Makes them want to fight and be competitive? I would say that, technically, biologically, men probably control their anger more than women do. I don't want to even list off all the things that men have to deal with, but whatever. Kind of situations like this, like putting myself in a man's body for a time, just experiencing this, like, and just as a general man. We're not even talking about the Hulk, by the way, who is the freaking Hulk she's talking to, who has to deal with all the shit he's done with to save people on a daily basis or a regular basis, as the Hulk, the very Hulk she's speaking with, by the way. The very Hulk she is speaking with. The Hulk that if he gets angry, remember when he has two people inside of him? That sounds disgusting. But you know what I mean. He has the Hulk and he has himself. He has to worry about losing control at every moment, that he has to worry about not being in control of his body. He's faced with situations where people are hitting him and hurting his friends, like, all the time. And she can control when she turns into the Hulk. He can't. So literally, he has to control his anger more than her. Plus, he has been the Hulk longer than her and has more shit to deal with. So her doing this line is just so freaking distasteful and entitled and baby-like. It's so ew, gross. But let's just say that Hulk is a regular man that she's talking to. And this is just one of the many citations that I found, but it says on various behavioral differences between males and females, physical aggression is one of the largest. Regardless of gender, children's physical aggressiveness peaks between 2 and 4 years of age, but then starts diverging, as girls learn more quickly than boys to suppress and avert behaviors. By puberty, there's a sizable gender difference in physical aggression and violence. Studies in rodents suggest sex differences in aggression, rough and tumble play, are meditated by the amygdala, whatever, whose volume in males is enhanced by prenatal testosterone. Across all cultures, men are more physically aggressive than women. Although some forms of aggression are more common in females, like relational aggression and infanticide. Wow, Jesus. Males are more likely to commit a physical or armed assault against another person, especially other males, making this one of the largest gender differences in psychology. Now, I may be stupid, and I know I'm gonna get people probably schooling me of, you're internalized misogyny. Well, listen, it's a scientific notion. That is why, as I've raised animals, I've noticed that it is much harder sometimes to keep a male animal that is intact than a female animal. Female animals, after a certain point, they still need discipline, they still need training. However, the males are infinitely more stubborn and more likely to act out aggressively in cases, especially when there are other males around. Poor Bruce here, Hulk aside, even if that weren't the case, as a man, he's already at a disadvantage when it comes to controlling his anger. Females have that natural limiter that makes it easier for us to control our anger. If we have a natural advantage that suppresses our aggression, generally for most of us, where things don't make us as aggressive, but males don't. Males are naturally aggressive because biologically they have to be for the role that they genuinely play. Then it makes more sense that the statement should be, males are way better at controlling their anger in a civilized society, because that is something that they have to be fighting all the time. Now, we have the outliers of people who go up and rain bullets down on certain establishments. Those people, they clipped. But most men that you see in society, they have that natural switch that is more easily switched towards aggression, and they have to control that all the time. When women are constantly telling them that they're disgusting just because they're men, when they are disrespected every single day, and women are allowed to speak freely about how they feel about them, but if they speak freely about how they feel about women, their livelihood is at stake, they're canceled. When a woman can be a horrible parent, but because of how the court system is, 99.9% of the time, she gets the child. His children, that he is obviously better equipped for, but because the courts favor mothers more, the mother gets it, even though she's not a good parent. There has to be extreme cases that are obvious to everyone around that the mother is doing something for them to even consider giving custody to the father. When they are rejected because they are seen as creepy just because they don't look like Captain America. But then they see Captain America approach a woman the same way that they did, and all of a sudden the woman's like, oh my god, you're so cute. When they have other men that treat them like shit at their jobs, because yes, some of these bosses are horrible bosses and have a power complex, and embarrass them in front of everyone and treat them like they're children, even though they're adults and they're doing the best they can, and they have to not say anything to their boss, because they have to keep their job to provide for their family and for a wife who is so ungrateful that when he comes home, she is not intimate with, she doesn't help out in the house, she doesn't do anything, especially if she's not working. They have to control that shit when the entire media is telling them that they're monsters for doing things or feeling ways that they naturally feel because of their biological sex. Like, I don't know. I am so glad that I'm a female, because I have to deal with half of that. Yes, we have to deal with the nuisances too, we have to deal with annoyances, but seeing what I have seen with my family members, with males in general, we don't have to deal with nearly as much as they do. We can just get a date. They have to be rejected all the time. Most of the time, women are the ones who get most of people approaching them. I am given stuff and have been treated much better than my male peers because I am a girl. If I am walking on the street, somebody will stop and ask me, hey, do you need to go somewhere, miss? Males don't have that. And yes, they don't, because most of the time, the bad makes it worse for the good. Most of the time, the bad males make every one of them look bad. So even if they're a good man, they're still not gonna stop because they're like, don't know, that guy could kill me. Despite people saying that gender roles don't exist, they still expect a man to pay for all the dates and pay for everything, and to only be respected if he has a certain amount of money or exceedingly good looks, while being told all the time in the media how men ain't shit, and dare you get upset and say the same thing about women, now you're canceled. Not a great time to be alive for a man. I know, it sounds base, but it's something a lot of us females don't understand. So when I hear this line, I cringe for us girls. An embarrassment. So anyway, she gets up and decides she's going home. She gets in her Jeep, Bruce tries to stop her, and for some reason he can't stop a Jeep, because I don't know. He could have lifted the Jeep up and she would have been fine, but whatever. Then after all of this, because he's saying, look, you can hurt someone, she decides to assault him first. And we can tell that the Hulk is holding back.
I really didn't want to do this.
Honestly, this whole scene with them fighting the segment, I wanted her to get beat so badly. He's trying to tell her, look, why won't you listen to someone who's been through all this before? Her excuses were different people. Duh, you're different people, but then why did you even go to school? Why'd you go to college? To listen to people who've done this before so you can know how to do it. What a freaking walking contradiction. So what's funny is he charges into her and they end up rolling into his bar that he built that means a lot to him, and this part was kind of hilarious, I'm not gonna lie.
My bar!
Sorry.
At least she does help him fix it back his bar. How is her shirt clean? Wasn't that the same shirt she was wearing in the fight? And now it's like super clean now? Oh well. He's like, you can call me anytime if you need to. And he probably already knows that something's going to happen. I already know that something's going to happen because this person is way too full of herself and she is going away with a superpower that she didn't previously have and she has no idea how to fully control. Or at least that should be the idea, right? But no, that's not what happens. A villain comes in, her friend tells her, do the Hulk thing. And then she does, and she saves a whole bunch of people. And voila, it's on the news now. Everyone knows who she is and that she's a freaking Hulk. I gotta say, the first episode had me chuckling at some parts, but honestly, this feels very forgettable. The main character is not that likable. I mean, watching the trailer, she was kind of cute, but as a main character, I'm not really feeling it too much. I don't know what it is. She seems too full of herself, and it's not even that. I wouldn't even mind if she was full of herself, but then she got humbled, just like Tony Stark did. You know, something happens, like Spider-Man, like most of the superheroes, to humble them, and to be fair, this did humble her, but she is acting so strange. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. It's like she didn't work for anything in this entire episode. I don't see her struggle. Like, she's talking about her men being condescending or whatever, but yet everyone still respects you as a very high-class lawyer. We don't see her struggling through it. Like, there's nothing to make this character feel relatable in the least. She just feels super annoying, and I blame that on the writing. In the second episode, now that everyone knows who she is, nobody wants to hire her. She comes in as She-Hulk, which she hates the name, by the way, because I'm just another derivative of the Hulk. Bitch, you are. Like, you literally used his blood. Like, it wasn't your fault, but you have his blood inside you. And as a result, you got some of his powers. So by all, definitions of the word, you are a freaking derivative. What do you expect?
They called She-Hulk, which can't possibly be what they're calling me.
There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it.
I'm gonna go talk to it.
Some guy just gave me both of these drinks for free because you're a superhero.
Would they have done that if he was a dude? I mean, if she was a dude? No, they probably would not have. Anyway, Jen asks some real questions. While her friend's like, you're a superhero, and she's like, I don't want to be, she asks if the Avengers offer maternity leave, pensions, and healthcare, which is a very good question. Because do they? Pretty sure they have insurance for all the stuff that happens and the people dying under them. this is some of the stuff that they do cover in The Boys on Amazon. Really good show if you haven't watched it. Not for the faint of heart. So her boss basically tells her, yeah, like, you're a liability now, and now people probably, you know, the jury will favor you because you're Hulk, and so we can't, yeah, sorry. She is desperate for a job. Good job, friend. You're the one who made her do that. Wasn't even her fault. She should have had the discretion to be like, no, I'm not gonna turn into a Hulk. But who wouldn't if you had the superpowers and you had the ability to save someone? We see a family dinner, and it's so suffocating just watching it. Her mom and everybody else except for her father try to use her, set her up with people, and gain clout basically from their family member being a superhero. Even though, yes, they meekly reminded us as though they themselves had short-term forgot that Bruce was also a family member. Anyway, this Holloway guy offers Jen a job, which she takes almost immediately because she's desperate, and he knows it. What she didn't realize is that he wanted She-Hulk to be the face of it because it's a superhero laws division. So she has to come to work like this. So he says her first case is the parole of Emil Blonsky, the guy who was Abomination, who we saw very recently in Shang-Chi. And who we saw in the early Hulk movie.
Hulk! Smash! Well, damn.
What the shit were those movies? Yeah, say what you want. It feels like they had a lot more action. I don't know. Feels like the superheroes were more badass there. See, someone says the same thing. 2008 Hulk. Terrifying. 2022 Hulk. Your friendly neighborhood. Marvel, maybe you need to take note. Jen is in a precarious situation because if she doesn't take this case, which she's not comfortable taking, because there's a conflict of interest since Abomination tried to kill her cousin, which they do acknowledge here, yeah, she doesn't have the job. So she agrees to meet with the prisoner, who says that it wasn't his fault that all that happened because, you know, basically the government tricked him, gave him that super soldier stuff that made him the way he was. So Jen calls her cousin after basically gonna tell him that she's taking the job. I hate how she talks over everyone, but you know, she's the kind of person who would complain that people are doing that to her. But like, people literally can't get a word in as she's talking.
But Blonsky did seem to have really good arguments, you know? He was so compelling, and maybe I want to believe that he's reformed.
Well, sure,
you
we
know,
all
isn't
wanna,
rehabilitation something that we should strive for as a society?
That's what you'd
But
hope
none
for.
of that matters.
I mean, I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it just comes off, again, as really annoying. This character is so freaking annoying. What is it with people making female characters now and making them so unlikable? Like Emily in freaking Paris. Like, why are they doing that? Is this how us females want to be portrayed? Because it's not giving. Anyway, Bruce tells her, look, it's okay. Abomination already wrote me a letter, a very cute haiku, which is something that we're joking about in the prison, not really joking about it, but Abomination wrote to all of his victims haikus, you know, the ones that were still alive anyway. And the boss is like, look, are you taking the job or not? Because it is what it is. You know, I gotta move on. And she's like, yes, I accept. It's supposed to be in the bag, not a problem at all. And he's like, okay, good, you may want to watch the news, by the way. So she turns on the news, and we see the scene from Shang-Chi when he had broken out of prison. I don't know if this is after she saw him or before. Like, I don't know. We don't know, or at least I don't know what the timeline of all of this is. But now it's going to be a little harder for her to make a case for him because he broke out of prison to go to an underground fight club. Yeah, why not? I guess that was the best they could do with the writing. Anyway, what do I think of episode 1 and 2? Honestly, it's not horrible, but it's very, very awkward to watch. Very uncomfortable to watch because the main character is forgettable. She is very, very forgettable. The CGI doesn't feel up to par to me. That's just my opinion. The writing is deplorable. The action scenes are not horrible. Like, the hits feel like they're landing, I guess. What else? What's else good about it? I'm struggling to find good things about it, which is, What else is good about it? The colors pop, which, I mean, it's Marvel, so, and, I don't really know. I don't really know how to feel about it. Just, I know how I don't like it. Like, you know, the main character, I don't even think if they had put anybody else there would have made a difference. She's just very unlikable to me. I'm not even trying to be mean. She's just very unlikable. Not as bad as Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was deplorably disgusting and awful. I hated that character. I mean, she and Joffrey feel like they're on the same level. This character is not that bad. She's just very annoying. She feels like a human incarnation of a mosquito. And that's me saying that, so you should know. She comes off as this whiny, entitled baby, and just some of the dialogue that they gave her did not work for the character. I guess there's some people who are watching would be like, yes, yes, yeah. That's not me, bro. For me personally, everyone's like, yes, look at us women, how we suffer. And me, I'm like, why do you want people to think that about us? Aren't we supposed to be portrayed as strong and capable? Like, instead of being like, I'm better than you. Like, that just screams insecurity and entitlement to me. It's very distasteful. As a woman, it's distasteful seeing another woman portrayed like that. But I can't even lie, there's women that are like that. But this is a superhero. We're supposed to like the person, right? Unless they're gonna give her some redemption arc, but there was nothing there. There was no struggle. What is happening? It's a show. You have an entire show for us to see the backstory of this person struggling and doing whatever and dealing with what they're doing with, and they never gave us that. They just jumped straight into it. Oh, by the way, I took some of my cousin's blood by accident when I pried him out of the wreckage. And now I am like almost as good as him, and maybe even better at some things without even trying. And I don't know, dude. Maybe they change it up later on, but for the first 2 episodes, yeah, not really something I'm interested in watching. My partner is the one who made me watch it. I wasn't in the mood to watch this at all. I don't know what happened to Hulk. I mean, I get the version of Hulk that he is, like he was in the comics as well, but he's basically Mark Ruffalo in real life. I look forward more to House of Targaryen, House of Dragons than I do this. Like, I don't even look forward to this. If it weren't for my partner saying we have to watch it, I would not watch it. You know, Mark, maybe you should just shut the fuck up. The fact that viewers are being made to feel as though because they don't like something that their ratings are meaningless, or that the site is meaningless with their reviews, honestly saying how they feel says a lot about the person. Like, you should be bringing people together to watch your show and not vilifying those who like it, because guess what? People have different thoughts and different likes. And if someone says,
I don't really like that, I don't like that,
the answer or reply to that shouldn't be, you're sexist and racist. Like, no, the answer, like a human being who's a grown-up and an adult, should be, oh, okay, what don't you like about it? Or I'm sorry you don't like it. Hope you find another show that you do like. Because, you know, we're people who are unique and have our own brains. We're not a freaking hive mind. And by people like Mark saying things like this, that to me is very racist and sexist itself. Because if there are people of color who don't like it, are you saying that their reviews are meaningless? If they're women like me who don't like it, does that mean that my review is meaningless if I don't like it? Does that mean that you as a man think that because you like it, that everybody else should bend to your whim and have your exact thought process? Huh. How ironic, giving the message of the show. In short, please don't tell me what the hell to like and not to like. I gave the show a chance, and my honest opinion is it could be a lot better. It's freaking weird, and I already said what my opinion was, but don't fucking tell me that I should like it, and if I don't like it, I'm racist and I'm this and I'm that. What the hell? Who are you? Go back in your corner and take your paycheck and shut the hell up. Jesus, I hope they're not actually doing this now, where they are paying the actors to market the movies because they're doing a hell of a bad job at it. It's like almost he's trying to get people to hate it. You know? Isn't that a breach of contract somewhere with that? Anyways, can't believe I used to have a crush on this guy. Your misogyny is showing, Mark. All that being said, I want to remind you that this is just the review for the first 2 episodes. So for all we know, the show might pick up. It might be better, but it started off very weak to me, in my opinion. If you did like it, I am so glad that you did. I am interested to know what was your favorite scene. Mine was when she threw the basket over his head when they were fighting. And yeah, also, no offense, but because I know exactly what this is, other girls know this too, this show does feel more like a chick flick than anything else. I don't think most men are gonna sit down and watch this, at least from episode 1 and 2, and be like, yes, this is my jam. Like, no, this is very Emily in Paris, Drop Dead Diva. It's a chick flick short, it's a chick show. Not saying that men can't watch it too, but as a girl, there is a certain show that is seemingly geared towards females. And this show feels very much like that, just letting everyone know. There's some chick flicks I like Vampire Diaries. Like, everyone can enjoy that. But let's be honest, the vampires with the shirts constantly off and Damon, oh come on. Damien? Just him being the show alone lets you know that this was meant for chicks. Anyways, that's my honest opinion. It is not a personal slight against anyone. I don't know why some people take it so personally when you just voice your opinion about not liking something. Like, I'm not saying I don't like the people in general. Okay, I don't like some of the stuff that some of the people say, but I don't have any personal ill will against them. I don't feel like my life is threatened or anything because they're different. It's just such a weird angle for people to have whenever they see reviews. But then again, it's not the worst show out there. It's very cringy, but it's not the worst. If I were to put this up next to Captain Marvel the movie, I would say that this blows it out of the water. But then again, that's not even saying much because Captain Marvel kind of set a very low bar there. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.